television city in Hollywood. It's Card Sharks. Here's the host of Card Sharks, Bob Eubanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Card Sharks. Thanks for tuning us in today because we're about to have some fun with some nice contestants, lots of money to give away, and two lovely Card Shark dealers. And I want you to meet our dealers right now. Here they are, Susanna Williams and Lacey Pemberton.
Hello.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
We're going to pick it up from where we left off yesterday. So if you are ready, why don't you start dealing those cards out for me over there. And today it'll be Lacey dealing the red cards to our returning champion, while Susanna deals the blue cards on the lower level to our challenger. As I said, we'll pick it up from where we left off yesterday. But while they're fixing the cards and everything, let's meet our two Card Sharks. Come on in here, Louise and Steve.
Come on.
Boy, you dressed up today.
Yes, sir.
You look very nice.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Boy, you are. Did you call
And I'm
Charlie?
rich.
Have you called Charlie yet?
No, I haven't had time.
$16,600 is what Louise won on our show last time.
Thank you.
That was just one time playing the big money cards. 9 kids?
So far,
9 kids so far,
Yeah.
yes. I don't believe you when you say that. How many grandchildren?
27.
27
and one
grandkids?
great-grandchild.
My goodness, you do work fast.
I sure do.
But it's nice to have you back with us. This is your challenge. You know Steve, don't you? You met Steve,
Oh,
of course.
sure, Steve.
Hello again.
Good luck,
Hello again. Tell us about you, Steve.
Well, I've recently moved out to Southern California from Pennsylvania, and I'm an aspiring actor, but I wait tables to put bread on the table, so
Is that a pun?
not really.
Sounded good to me. All right. Well, it's nice to have you back. Remember, each of you, I know, have cut the deck of cards, and we're going to, the object of our game is to work your way across the board here by predicting whether each card is higher or lower than the one preceding it. And as you can see, we're in the middle of game number 1 in this match between Louise and Steve, all tied up. Both of you have just 2 cards in order to win the game. When we left off yesterday, we were about ready to ask our 4th and final question in this game, which means that it's sudden death time. Someone must win the game on this play of the cards. Control of the board is extremely important. And let's begin. Sudden death now. Steve, the question goes to you. We surveyed 100 first graders, and we asked them, do you think first graders should be allowed to vote? Why not? How many first graders said they should be allowed to vote? Steve?
I don't think a lot of first graders even fully understand what voting is all about, so I wouldn't think that they would respond positively to that question. I think it's going to be a relatively low number. I'm going to say 25.
25 out of 100 first graders said that they should be allowed to vote. Louise, will it be higher or lower than 25?
Well, you know, maybe a lot of these first graders have got more sense than some of the people old enough to vote.
Took the words right out of my mouth, my dear.
The only thing is, at first grade, the mentality is not quite as good as when you're 18, able to vote. So I'll say it's going to be a little lower.
Lower than
that.
25.
Yeah.
I'll bet you it's higher. I have no idea in the world. Let's see.
hope so.
Actual number of first graders who said they should be allowed to vote is 47. Yeah. Hey, those little guys, they know. All right, now, as you know, it's sudden death time. Steve, you won the high-low question. That means that you have a couple of choices to make. You can change your 7 and play it out, but if you make a goof, Louise wins the game. Or you can pass it on to Louise. She must play off the 10. And if she goofs, then you win the game. So what would you like to do? You want to play it or you want to pass it?
I'm going to play.
You're going to play it, all right? And we'll change the card, I assume?
would love to change that card.
Yes,
Bob.
we'll get rid of the 7. Your 7 now becomes a 5.
That's great. I'm going to go higher.
Higher than the 5. Your card is a 7. Now
Okay.
what?
I'm going to go higher again.
If it's higher, you win game number 1. It's a check. You did it.
All right. Thank you. All right.
I kind of thought you'd pass it. I really did.
No, I'm a gambler. Yeah.
You are a gambler. You've also got $100.
All
You
right.
win game number 1. Remember, first player to win 2 games wins the match, goes on to play the big money cards. Louise, you got to win this one in order to stay in.
Okay.
Let's start it right now. Game number 2. While Lacey over there will be dealing out new cards, I'll ask you your first high-low question. We surveyed 100 women, and we asked them, do you enjoy looking at nude male centerfolds in magazines? How many women said they do enjoy looking at nude male centerfolds in magazines?
Sure they do. I do.
Do you really?
Sure. You never get too old for that, I hope.
Doesn't that embarrass you?
No, not at all. I
it
think that's going to be
embarrasses me to death.
I think that's going to be a fairly mediocre number.
Wait a minute. Do you look at nude pictures of men?
I've seen Playgirl a lot of times. So I got some in my dresser drawer.
Does Charlie know that?
Sure, he knows it.
He doesn't care?
No, he doesn't care.
darn.
Yeah. Well,
I'm amazed.
Well, you know, things are different these days than they were 40, 50
Well,
years ago.
I
It's
didn't
an
know that.
interesting magazine, really.
You like the articles?
Very much, yes, and the pictures especially. So I'm going to say, about 55 women out of 100 like to look at that
See, they
magazine.
like to look at that
Sure
trash.
they do.
All right, Steve, it'll be higher or lower than 55?
First of all, I don't believe that she likes the articles. 'Cause I think that I know a lot of women who don't like to look at those type of magazines. So I think the number is going to be a little lower.
I mean, the male body is just yuck, you know? So you think it's going to be lower?
Yes.
Actual number of women who enjoy looking at nude male centerfolds is 37. You were right, Steve. It's lower. All right, this is game number 2. Steve, you've got control right now. Here's your card. It's a king.
It's a good card. I'm going to go lower.
Lower than the king. It is a queen.
I'm going to go lower again.
Lower than the queen. That's a 10.
I'm going to go lower
Lower
again.
than the 10. It's a 9.
I'm going to freeze.
Oh, I thought he was going to play
I
it
thought I
out.
was,
All
too.
right, freezes on the 9, keeps Louise away from her cards. If you win the high-low question, you can change the 9. Will he win the high-low question? We won't find out till we come back, because right now we're going to pause for these words, and we'll continue with this game in a minute. Welcome back to Card Sharks. Now, let's continue. Steve won game number 1. Trying to win game number 2 in the championship. Here's our next high-low question. It's for you, Steve. We surveyed 100 lawyers who specialize in defending criminals. We asked them, have you ever defended a person you believed was guilty? How many lawyers said that they have?
I believe it's their business to defend people, and a lot of times those people are, in fact, going to be guilty. So I believe that it's going to be a relatively high number. I'm going to say 68.
68 out of 100 attorneys said that they have defended a person who they believe was guilty. Louise, will it be higher or lower than 68?
Well, I think it'll be a little lower, Bob.
Think it's a little lower than
I
that?
think that's going to be a little lower.
Huh. Actual number of lawyers who have defended someone they thought was guilty is 95. Not lower, it was higher. All right, now, Steve, you've frozen the 9. You want to change it, I
would
assume?
love to change that card.
Let's get rid of that 9. Your new card is a 3.
Let's go higher.
For the championship, it is a 10. Yes!
All right. Thank you. Enjoy your money. All right.
Congratulations to you, Steve. You are our new champion. Louise, I know you had a good time.
I had a ball, and I love the money.
Well, yeah, you won $16,600. I want you to go home, wake up Charlie, and say, Charlie, look what I got for you. All right?
All right, I'm going
Bye-bye,
to.
Louise, and
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Good
Come here,
luck to
Steve.
you.
Right
All
over
right.
here. Congratulations to you, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Way to go. You're the new champion. Now, all kinds of exciting things are about to happen to you.
All right.
Because I know you cut a deck of cards before the show that we're going to play the big money cards with. So, here comes Susanna and Lacey, and they're going to start dealing out those cards. And here's the way we play our big money cards. The $200 you've won is yours to keep, no matter what happens. But now we're going to give you new money to bet with. We'll start you on the bottom line with $200. What you must do is bet your way across that line by calling off high-low. When you get to the second row up there, we'll add another $400 of betting money. And again, bet your way across. Remember, minimum bets are going to be $50 each. Until you get up to the top. At that time, you must bet at least half of your dollars. And also, you'll have an opportunity to change one card on each line by choosing one of the spare cards that Susanna is dealing out right now. So rub your hands together.
I'm ready.
You greedy guy. Give him $200. Let's see how much money he can win. Good luck. Now, you can turn that $200 into $32,000 if you play him right. Let's see if you do. Here's your card. It's a deuce, and you got 200.
I think I'm going to bet all of it higher.
Of
all
course you will.
200.
If another deuce comes up in the big money cards, it's a push. All right,
Great.
200 higher than the deuce, it's a king.
Woo! I'm going to bet $300 lower.
300 lower than the king, it's a 9. You got 700. You want to
Okay.
play it or change it?
I would like to change that card with number 1, please.
Number 1. Let's see what the 9 will turn into. The 9 is now a king.
All right.
700.
I'm going to bet $500 lower.
500 lower than the king. Your card. Oh, it's an ace. You're down to $200.
That's okay.
That's all right, because
You
the
still
ace
got
now
money.
becomes your base. We give you another $400. You've got $600
Okay.
and an ace.
I would like to bet $600 lower.
Sure you would. Lower than the ace, it's a king. Now you got 1,200.
I would like to bet $1,000 lower.
1,000 lower than the king. Oh! I can't believe it. You're down to $200. Still playing with the ace.
Okay, let's bet $200 lower.
200 lower. It's a deuce. There you go. Now you got $400.
Okay, I'm going to bet $400 higher.
Of course, sure. Higher than the 2. It's a 3.
All
Just
right.
barely, but it is.
Woo! That's okay. That's $1,000 more than I came here with.
You're not kidding. You're doing fine. Hey, tough. I'm glad you think it's great, but boy, those were tough cards.
They
You've
were.
got $1,000. Like you say, it's 1,000 more than you came with. And we're going to meet a new challenger for you because you're the champion. And we'll do that when we
right.
come back right after these words. See you in just a moment.
That was interesting.
Thank you. I'm too old to do that. Let's meet our new challenger. Come in here, Beth.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I'm Beth Cook from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm married, and I have 2 kids, and I have 1 on the way.
All right.
Do you? Well, I do. This is your 3rd one.
3rd one.
And what does Daddy do?
Daddy is a computer programmer in
From
Omaha.
Omaha. How nice. Well, it's wonderful having you here with us. You know how to play the game, I'm
Oh,
sure.
certainly.
You cut the cards before? All right. Lacey's dealing out cards from a brand new deck, and let's begin this match between Steve and Beth. And the first question goes to our champion, Steve. Steve, we surveyed 100 men, and we asked them, if you discovered that your best friend's wife was cheating on him, would you tell him? How many men would tell their best friend?
Ooh, that's a very interesting question. I think the best friend allegiances go very deep. And if it was my best friend, I would feel obligated to tell him with a good attitude and for the well-being of his marriage. So I think it's going to be a sort of medium number. No,
I saw you change your mind 3 times in the last 4
they're
sentences.
getting angry at me out there. No, I'd say it's going to be around 52.
52 out of 100 men would tell their best friend. Beth, it'll be higher or lower than 52?
I'll tell you what, if you're really a best friend, you would tell. If you don't have the courage to tell them face to face, send an anonymous note. Do something, but tell him.
Courage, send them an anonymous
Right.
note.
But
That's courage.
they've got to tell him. It's got to be higher.
Higher than
You
52.
bet.
The actual number of men who would tell their best friend his wife was cheating on him is 58. It was higher, but just a little bit higher. Well, Beth, you won it. Here we go. You can change this card if you like. It's a 6.
I want to change that
Change
card.
your 6. Your card is now a queen. That's much better.
Lower.
Lower than the queen. Let's see. It's a 9. Play or freeze.
Lower.
Gonna go on. Lower than the 9. It's an 8. Now what does she do?
Freeze.
Freeze on the 8. I thought she'd freeze on the 9, but she didn't. Okay. By freezing there, Steve does not get a shot at the cards on this question. Let's see what happens with this one. Beth, for you. Surveyed 100 women who are engaged to be married. We asked them, would you rather have a large wedding than a large check? How many engaged women said yes, they would rather have a large wedding?
Oh, well, first of all, it's going to take a large check to have the large wedding. But I think most people, girls love to have that large wedding.
They like
We
that.
all like to have that. I'm going to say it's a pretty high number. It's how many want to
How many
have...
engaged women would rather have a large wedding?
I think that 70 would.
70 out of 100 would rather have the large wedding. Steve, it'll be higher or lower than 70?
I think it would be great to have a really romantic, meaningful, small wedding and get the money.
Take
So I'm
the
going to say
money,
the money
right.
it's going to be lower.
You greedy guy. Lower than 70. Actual number of engaged women who would rather have a large wedding is 49. It was lower. Now, Steve, time to catch up. Let's see
get
how
some
well
good cards.
you do. There's a 6 player change.
I would like to change that card.
The 6 now becomes a 6 again.
All right, what a great
now
card.
you gotta play.
I'm going to go higher.
Higher than the 6, your card is an 8.
All right,
Play or freeze.
I'm going to go higher than the 8.
Higher than the 8. He's going on. No! Back to the 6 he goes. And that means that Beth gets a free shot at the cards playing off of the 8.
I think it's going to be lower.
Lower than the 8, she says. It's a 10. No, not lower than the 8. It's all right.
Eight's a
So
tough
Beth
card.
still has a slight lead in this game. As we go to our next high-low question, it's for you, Stephen. We surveyed 100 single women, and we asked them, have you ever told a man that he was a good lover when he really wasn't? How many single women said they have lied and told a man he was a good lover?
I think the male ego is a very frail thing, and although she probably didn't do it to be dishonest, she wanted to make him feel good. I would say it's going to be a pretty high number. I'm going to say 67 women.
67 out of 100 women have told a man he was a good lover when in fact he was not, Beth.
Well, I think the question here is timing. You know, at what point did she tell him this? I mean, we're not cruel. So we were going to say yes, that we would tell him that. I think it's going to be a little bit higher,
You're
Steve.
telling me that more than 67 women have lied and told him he was a good lover?
Yeah, I think
Actual number
so.
of single women who have lied and told a man he was a good lover is 34. No, it wasn't higher, it was lower. Now, Steve, you can get rid of the 6 again.
Okay, let's get rid of that 6
Unless
again.
another one comes up. Let's find out. Now, what have I got for you this time? There. That's better.
Just fine with me. Let's go higher.
Higher than the deuce. Your card is a 6.
Okay, I'm going to go higher.
Higher than the 6. It is a deuce. Man is plagued with 6s and deuces. Okay, guess who gets a free shot? Beth, you do. Again, playing off the 8. What do you want to do this time?
I think it's got to be lower.
Lower
We're
than the
due,
8.
we're
The
due.
card is a king. It is not lower than
What are
the
we
8.
going to do?
I'll tell you what. Why don't we pause for a couple of moments,
great
see if the
idea.
cards will maybe move a little better for you. We'll be back to play the rest of this game right after this. Welcome back to Card Sharks. We are ready to solve this problem right now because it's sudden death time. Someone must win this game on this play of the card, so control of the board is very important. Good luck to both of you. The question goes to Beth. Beth, we surveyed 100 people and we asked them, do you believe that man is descended from the apes? How many people said yes?
I've seen a few people that I think have definitely descended from the apes. That's terrible. Okay. I'll say, I don't think that we all think that we were all apes once. I don't want to think I was a monkey or something way back when. I'm going to say, I'm going to say 35.
35 out of 100. 35 out of 100 people said yes, they believe that man is descended from the apes. Steve, will it be higher or lower than 35?
I personally don't believe that man is descended from ape. I believe man is descended from God, and that I believe in the original creation. However, and there isn't enough evidence to substantiate the theory of evolution. But yet,
Don't get serious with me, okay? Higher or lower?
I'm saying a lot of people still buy into it. So I'm going to say it's just going to be a little higher.
A little higher than 35. The actual number of people who believe man is descended from the apes is 56. You're right, it was higher. All right, now, Steve, sudden death. These are your choices. You can play off the deuce and play it out. If you make a mistake, Beth wins the game. Or pass it on to Beth with her notorious 8 over here. If she goofs, you win the game. So what would you like to do?
This is really tough. I think that I'm going to pass it to Beth.
Pass it to Beth. All right, Beth, you got to play it
Sorry,
out.
Beth.
We're due to, it's got to be lower.
Can I
It's
go
gotta be
lower
close
again?
to
Now
it.
let's see if
Go
it's lower
lower.
than the 8. Now! Steve wins game number 1.
Yes, I finally made a good choice.
I am convinced there's nothing lower than the 8 over there.
That was a nasty card. That was a nasty card.
Oh. Okay, so Steve, you win game 1 of the match between you and Beth. And remember, it's the first player to win 2 games that goes on to play the big money card. So why don't we start game number 2 right now? Lacey will be dealing out the cards, and we'll pause for these commercial words and be right back in just a moment, okay? Hey, look what happened. Now, you won the first game, Steve. That means that tomorrow when we pick it up,
I
Beth,
don't want to see another 8.
you don't want to see it. Oh, boy, the 8s just plagued you.
They're
Steve,
scary
you got
cards.
$1,000. And when we come back next time, we'll pick the match up and see who our champion becomes. And maybe one of you will win lots and lots and lots of money when they play the big money cards. So we must go. We hope you'll drive carefully. Have a very pleasant weekend. Until then, I'm Bob Eubanks for Lacey Pemberton, Susanna Williams, Gene Wood, and the whole gang here on Card Shark. Thanks for watching our show. We couldn't do it without you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
GSN shows are playing, bingo cards keep on paying. With GSN Live, you can join or win a one